Okay, welcome to session B for my Premiere Pro 2021 summer workshop. In session B, we're going to start working with audio. So far, everything we've done has been on the video one line of this timeline. We are now going to deal with the audio lines. And again, I've got A1, A2, A3. If you have those three good to go, if you have 6 like me, it's all fine. You can always add and delete tracks as needed. You can add tracks up underneath the button here under sequence and add tracks, and you can also delete tracks as well. All right, so I've got my timeline all ready to go, and I'm going to go ahead and get to the beginning of the timeline, so I'm going to press home. And again, you got to be clicked in the sequence panel in order for you to be able to use the home button, because if you're clicked in a different panel, it thinks you want to do something somewhere else. All right, we're going to drag the sadness music. Now notice music files are represented by a little green waveform in the project panel. Of course, it says underneath them what they're called as well. And if you point to them, it'll tell you what type of sound quality it is, you know, whether it's at 44 megahertz or whatever. Anyway, but we want the sadness music here, and we're going to drag it down to audio 3. So don't put it on audio 1, put it on audio 3. We're just going to drop it in there. Now notice on your program monitor, it now says 1 minute 40 seconds because that's how long this audio is. So our audio is too long for what we intend to do. So I'm going to move my head up here to the top. So down here we're going to zoom out so we can see everything. You can see how long that audio is. It's pretty long. We don't need all of that. So we're going to have to trim that down. You can trim it lots of different ways. You can just cut it, or you can pull the edge in. Either way works. But we're going to use that button to cut it again. So I'm going to click, you know, a part here. I'm just going to get on that man arms clip, and I'm going to press my down arrow because that gets us right to the end. And also at the end, you can tell we are at the 30-second mark, and that's how long we want this thing to be. So when you press that down arrow, you should be at that 30-second mark, so double check that. And then what we're going to do is use the razor tool. Again, press C on your keyboard. Okay, once you, and make sure you're down here. I wasn't clicked in my PSA timeline panel. Press C on your keyboard. It's going to change to the razor blade. Just point right on your blue line. Click it. That divides it into 2 pieces. Press the V key to get back to your main arrow. Click that back half and then press delete. Okay, so that's the easy way to do that. So we've got that taken care of here. And if we listen to it, and it's kind of hard to hear all this while I'm talking too, it just literally stops. It's like, okay, thanks. We don't want our music to stop like that. Nothing says noob video editor than music that just randomly cuts out. So we are going to fade out the audio. Now, there are some really cool things built in to do this that make it really easy. I'm going to zoom up a little bit just so you can see better. But what we're going to do is we are going to use what's called rubber bands. If you've ever used an audio editors all have what they call rubber bands that you can adjust the volume of the audio. So I'm going to double click. Now, we don't have an eyeball on, you know, the audio layers like we do the video layer, but you can double click to the right of that microphone and make your audio line taller, the same way that you could do it on the other. Or you can just drag down this bottom of the panel there for that line. So drag it down or double click like I did, and now we're going to fade it out. We're going to use what are called keyframes. So this line here, kind of hard to see. It's just a random line in there. My thing isn't wanting to zoom. Anyway, there's a random line in there. That random line is the audio volume line, and we're going to add what are called keyframes. So over here on the left, you're going to see that little button right there. That is your keyframes. We want to set it to volume keyframes. So you're going to go to track keyframes and volume, and you can see the line. It goes all the way across, but it was already there. What we're going to do now is we are going to move that playhead to 27 seconds. And I zoomed out so mine's easier to catch here. So 27 seconds right there. We're going to put in a keyframe. So we're going to press this little diamond icon here, the Add Remove Keyframe button. And notice there's a little diamond there. Kind of hard to see, but I promise there's a diamond in there. Okay. Then I'm going to go to the end. I'll just press the down arrow again. And I'm going to put another keyframe in there. So I'll just click there. So now there's a keyframe at the end. Now take that last keyframe and just drag that puppy down all the way down, like so. Okay, so now we have infinitely made this quieter so that it will fade out at the end. Okay, so as we go here and play, it plays and then it's gently fading out. Okay, so it fades out completely. Okay, and basically that just joins, that lowers the volume. That's your track volume. So you can see that little slide down is the volume fading out. Okay, and that concludes page 10.